The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. What if the greatest journey you could ever take isn't across the world, but inward, into the vast, uncharted landscape of your own being? Beneath the surface of who you think you are lies a deeper truth, a self that is luminous, powerful, and free. To discover this self is to see the world with new eyes. Illusions fall away, priorities shift, and life, once ordinary, begins to shimmer with meaning. In this episode of Lokuttara, we journey into the heart of the mystery. What is the true self? And how does finding it change everything? What is the authentic self? Spiritually, the authentic self is not the persona we show the world, nor the voice shaped by fear, trauma, or expectation. It is something far deeper, something untouched by time or experience. Most ancient traditions agree. The ego, though useful, is not who we truly are. Beneath the layers of identity lies a luminous core, a self that is whole, silent, and eternal. To awaken to the self is to strip away illusion, to enter the stillness within, and to let go of everything we thought we were. In Advaita Vedanta, this self is known as Atman, identical with Brahman, the infinite reality. To live authentically is to realize you are not the body, not the mind, but pure awareness itself. In Christian mysticism, the true self reflects the Imago Dei, the divine image within. The journey becomes one of shedding the false self and allowing the light of God to shine through unfiltered. In Buddhism, the discovery of the authentic self takes an unexpected turn. Here, the self is seen as empty, fluid, and ever-changing. And yet, in this very emptiness, a radical authenticity arises, rooted in presence, compassion, and freedom from grasping. Each path speaks in a different voice, but all point to the same truth. You are not the mask. You are the mystery behind it. To truly understand the self is not just a spiritual insight. It's a revolution of perception. When you glimpse who you really are beneath the layers, everything begins to shift. Relationships, fears, desires, even the way you move through the world takes on new meaning. Life stops feeling like something happening to you, and life begins to feel like something unfolding through you. But if the true self is always within us, why do so few awaken to it? What stands in the way? In the next part of the video, we'll explore the unseen forces, the inner barriers, the illusions, the conditioning that keep us bound to a false identity, and how to begin breaking free. Barriers to the true self. If the true self is always present, silent, whole, and unchanging, why do so many live in confusion, anxiety, or disconnection? The answer lies in the layers that have been placed over our awareness. From the moment we are born, we are conditioned. We are given names, roles, expectations, and fears. We learn who we're supposed to be, often at the cost of who we truly are. Over time, these layers form what many traditions call the false self, a mask shaped by praise and punishment, success and shame. It serves a function in society, but it is not your essence. This false self is held together by three powerful forces. 1. Fear. Fear of rejection, of failure, of being seen too deeply. So we hide. 2. Attachment. To identity, possessions, even suffering. We cling to what is familiar, even when it limits us. 3. Illusion. The belief that we are the voice in our heads, the emotions we feel, or the roles we play. These forces act like a veil, thin yet powerful, keeping us from sensing the truth that is always here. You're not your thoughts, your past, or your pain. You are the one who is aware of them all. From childhood, many of us received a silent message. Who you truly are is not enough. Too loud, too sensitive, too different, too much. And so, to feel safe, we began to shape ourselves into what the world would accept. Here are some of the hidden forces that cause us to abandon the true self. 1. Early wounds and conditioning. When love feels conditional, we learn to perform. We become the achiever, the caretaker, the rebel, the invisible one. Whatever mask ensures we're not rejected. Over time, we forget it's a mask at all. 2. Cultural and societal expectations. Society rewards conformity. It teaches us to value appearance over authenticity, productivity over presence. Many are taught to strive endlessly, but rarely to be. The soul is forgotten in the pursuit of success. 3. Fear of vulnerability. To show your true self is to be exposed. It means standing in your light, uncertain how others will respond. For some, this fear of being judged, misunderstood, or abandoned becomes unbearable, and so they retreat into the safety of the false self. 4. Trauma and survival patterns. When we endure pain, especially emotional or spiritual wounding, we often build walls around our core to protect it. These survival strategies, while once necessary, can eventually become prisons. We begin to identify more with our defenses than with our truth. 5. Shame and self-doubt. At the root of much hiding is the silent belief: if people really saw me, they wouldn't love me. This lie keeps us small, disconnected, and ashamed of our own depth. It blinds us to the sacred truth that who we truly are is already whole, already worthy. Breaking through this veil is not easy. It requires courage, stillness, and a deep willingness to let go. But once it begins, the world changes. 6. Trauma often fractures the self. To survive pain, we exile certain parts of ourselves and our emotions. I must not be angry, needy, loud, vulnerable. These become the shadow of our true self that we seek to identify with. But the price is loss of authenticity. Many people confuse the trauma-adapted self with the true self. For example, a peacemaker child who hides anger becomes a people-pleasing adult. A high achiever might be chasing worth they never felt as a child. Healing trauma is essential for authenticity because a soul can't speak clearly through fear. As you heal, the masks loosen. The real you, beneath defense, emerges. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. How to connect with your inner self. Authenticity, finding and being your true self, is less about constructing a self and more about removing what is not you. So how do we begin to reawaken this connection? 1. Embrace sacred silence. In the stillness, the noise of the world begins to fade, and the voice of the self can be heard again. Sit in silence. Breathe with presence. Feel your own being without distraction. Even a few minutes a day can begin to restore the link to your inner essence. 2. Practice radical honesty. The self cannot thrive in falseness. Begin to notice where you speak, act, or choose a certain action out of fear or expectation. Ask yourself, is this coming from my truth or from my conditioning? Honesty becomes a gateway. Each truthful breath, each authentic step brings you closer to who you really are. Really aim to ask yourself, is this what I want and need to be truthfully me? Or is this what I'm telling myself to see, hear, think, or feel? 3. Observe the mind, don't become it. Your thoughts are not yourself. They are passing clouds across a vast, unchanging sky. Begin to watch them with loving detachment. in meditation, in reflection, or even during your day. Practice being the witness. In doing so, you shift your identity from thought to awareness. Think, "This too shall pass." 4. Reconnect with the body and the heart. The body is the temple of the soul, and the heart is its sacred flame. To reconnect with the true self, listen deeply to your physical sensations, your inner guidance, and the quiet whisper of intuition. Dance, walk in nature, or place your hand over your heart and simply breathe. These are not small acts, they are doorways. 5. Remember that the self is not separate. The more deeply you go within, the more you begin to see the sacred in everything. Trees, faces, moments, even pain, each begins to reflect the same light that lives within you. This is the great paradox. When you touch your own essence, you awaken to the unity of all things. 6. Contemplative practice, e.g., meditation, self-inquiry. Meditation and self-inquiry still the mind and help you see thoughts as not you. In silence, the authentic self begins to reveal itself, not as a voice, but as a deep isness. Practice. Ask, "Who am I?" and observe what comes up, without trying to answer intellectually. Let layers fall away. 7. Shadow work. You can't be authentic if you're rejecting parts of yourself. Shadow work is about befriending the hidden, exiled, or disowned parts of yourself that you may not even be aware that they are at play in your subconscious. Practice. Journal prompts like, "What parts of me do I hide from others? When do I feel most fake or performative? What did I learn to suppress to feel safe or loved?" 8. Embodiment. Your body carries the truth. The ego lives in the head. The soul speaks through the body, via intuition, tension, and gut sense. Practice. Body scans, intuitive movement, breathwork, ways to get out of thought and into felt experiences. The power of self-realization. Mystics don't just seek authenticity, they seek union with the divine, the all, the ground of being. In this view, the soul is not separate from God, it is of God. Your authenticity is not merely being yourself, but being an instrument of divine expression. Self-realization is realizing you are not the wave, you are the ocean in wave form. You go inward to find your truth. And when you arrive, you find you're not just you, you are everything. You are love, consciousness, being itself. This is why true authenticity often leads to humility, not ego inflation. Service, authenticity of the self is gift, not demand or a waste or a concern. Peace, because striving for things and wants and desires end. There is no single path to the self, the true you, the authentic self you always were and are already being. It will reveal itself in quiet moments, in acts of courage, in deep surrender. Sometimes it comes like a sudden flash of clarity, other times like a slow and gentle unfolding. But when it comes, it changes everything, not because you become someone else, but because you finally return to who you've always been. Your true, authentic, unapologetic, and deeply grounded and connected, powerful self. The you always were. For more inspiration, deep thought, and conversations on awakening, please like, subscribe, and share. Here at Lokuttara, we are here to help you connect with the authentic you through whatever form that may be. Best of luck on your journey. You are sure to flourish and find your light. Thank you.